Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and as promised, for those of you that get my monthly newsletter, we are going to be discussing the transit of Jupiter headed into sidereal Gemini, which is happening on May 14th of 2025. So we're just going to jump right in and talk about it. And for those that don't, we're also going to have another special newsletter and video about the transits of Rahu and Ketu into Aquarius and Leo, respectively, because those nodes of the moon are moving at the end of this month. So there's a lot going on in May, a lot of changes happening, a lot of shifts coming. So just stay tuned. But Jupiter in Gemini, it is going to be in Gemini for basically a year, but it's gonna get a little crazy because it's going to move super quick. So it enters May 14th, 2025 into Gemini, and it's going to be in Gemini until October 19th, 2025. And yes, that is very short because Jupiter is moving full speed ahead. It will not go retrograde until November, mid-November, which I will give you the date as we get further into this, but it'll go retrograde in November in the sign of Cancer. So October 19th, it moves into the sign of Cancer, and then it will retrograde back into Gemini December 3rd of 2025 and stay in Gemini again until June 6th of 2026. So with retrograde, it's moving through very quickly, which means in 2025, Jupiter will have been in three separate signs because it's in Taurus, getting ready to move into Gemini. It moves through Gemini really quickly, goes into Cancer, and then it will go back into Gemini. One of the things I always say, especially as we get older, we're able to look at the cycles. Jupiter takes 12 years to transit around the zodiac. So kind of think back to around, well, I'll give you a couple dates. You're going to think back to the first one I'm going to give you is June 2001 to July of 2002 was one of the times that Jupiter was in Gemini. And then the most recent time it was in Gemini was May of 2013 to June of 2014. So what was happening for you then, that'll kind of give you insights into what will happen in your personal life. There's a lot of other things going on planetary wise that are different from those periods in terms of Saturn's transits, Rahu and Ketu's transits, which will make the mundane and global stuff a little different. But for you personally, because of the houses and how Jupiter transits through those houses, you're really going to kind of find that there may be some similar themes to those periods that I just listed above. For those that don't know, Gemini is an air sign. Air signs, on the favorable side, the positive side, can be very friendly, very adaptable, very intellectual, and inventive. But again, with everything, there's always that other side to it, and they can get too in their head, be too overly idealistic, and too impractical at times. Gemini is that natural third sign of the zodiac. It's associated with siblings, courage, physical strength, art, dance, some of those more artistic expressions. It's associated with our voice, our communication. It's associated with short travels and then also writing as well. On one of the lower expressions of Gemini, it can be very hasty, very indecisive, very restless, and at times overly cunning and clever. So it's going to be really important to watch that energy um, because that can show up if you're not living on the positive side of the energy of this transit through Gemini. And again, that's what Gemini indicates. Jupiter has its own indicators, and then we're going to bring them all together. Gemini is a dual sign. I know Gemini is represented by the twins. It has that duality. People that are very heavy on Gemini in their chart or have their ascendant or their moon there or a lot of planets there, you can really see them have that dual nature. They can enjoy social interactions, but then also they enjoy that solitude. They can have multiple perspectives and they can have both a practical and an imaginative side. So you get this dual nature into who they can be. Jupiter as a planet is very expansive. It rules banking and finance and commerce. It rules education, politics, foreign relations, writing, publishing, and content production. It can be very optimistic and overly confident at times in its energy. And on its highest expression side, it really can be very elegant, very artistic, very fortunate, gracious, and steadfast. While on Jupiter's lower expression as a planet, it can be more selfish, materialistic, indulgent, and a little wasteful. Now, bringing it all together of what that means of Jupiter's transit of Gemini. When Jupiter transits into Gemini, it can sometimes be a struggle because Gemini is opposite Sagittarius, which is Jupiter's home sign. And this can mean that Jupiter has some trouble fully expressing its energies. It could be you could see more scattered thinking, you could see more opportunism, more kind of deception at times. Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, and Jupiter are not friends. So this can bring a more restless nature to Jupiter. So it's going to be really important to make sure you're taking time to make decisions. You're not jumping feet first into decisions. Really, I find it can be beneficial to write down the pros and cons. And I truly mean write them down. Go get a piece of paper, go get a pen, write them down so you can visually see them. Just getting them out of your head, getting them off a screen is going to be more beneficial for you. Jupiter can really manifest positively when it's understood. And in Gemini, it can bring that innovation, that mental versatility. It can be a great time to really focus on personal growth and development. So I'd really ask you to like spend time thinking about what are the areas you would like to develop and grow in over the next year? What steps can you start taking on your journey of personal development? Are there any classes or conferences you can sign up for, or a mentor that you can reach out to help guide you? Or even, do you need to have a conversation with your boss and say, like, hey, where do you see are the areas that I can develop this year at work or with your spouse or your partner or your friends or whatever? But it's a great year for personal growth and development. During this period when Jupiter is transiting in Gemini, because of its quick transit, it may not, the quick transit can mean it doesn't really have time to fully manifest the best of what it can while it's in Gemini in whatever house that is for you. But it really is gonna pack a punch. It's very much, you know, an important time to remain focused and centered and grounded. It's not very often. Jupiter usually spends about a year in a sign. Some years it's, a sign and then it moves to a new sign. So it max 2 signs. Where it's going to be in the 3 signs, that can bring exponential change. It can bring progress. It can bring a bit of societal conflict. This has happened before in the past, but it's been a while since we've had it in 3 signs. So the times that it was in 3 signs was from 1953 to 1955, and then again from 1965 to 1966. So just remain focused, remain grounded, expect change. I mean, we've been talking about change anyways with all the planets changing signs because we had Saturn move in March, Jupiter moving in May, Jupiter moving again in October. And then with Rahu and Ketu switching signs as well this year. There's just a lot going on in 2025 pointing to change. Um, Really, if you are a fire, air, or water sign or have a lot of those signs in your chart, it's going to be really important to remain grounded, more so than the earth signs because they already tend to be more grounded naturally. But it is for the earth signs going to be important that they don't get swept away by a gust of wind. One of the things, if you have been reading my monthly newsletter this year, is very much a time to ride the wave. The more you fight against the flow, the tougher the experience is going to be. I can't stress that enough. The more you get tied to your ways, stuck in how it's always been, this is how it has to be, the more you are going to be forced outside your comfort zone. So the choice is in your hands. It's yours to control. It's yours to make in terms of are you going with the flow or what are you doing? With Jupiter and Gemini, we could see the potential for new developments in technology and scientific breakthroughs. The flip side with that is we could see more data leak potentials or cyber attacks on companies and systems. So, really be sure you're changing your passwords regularly, ensuring they're as strong as possible. It can be a time to be very intellectually curious and adaptable and resourceful and generous. It's truly, again, that period of personal growth and new opportunities and experiences coming your way. Jupiter and Gemini is going to really encourage us to seek the meaning in life and explore new things. And many may begin to search for deeper meaning and move more away from the superficial during this time. For businesses, this can bring a time of business opportunities and it can bring it through communication and networking. And it can also be a period that's going to support digital growth. throughout this transit of Jupiter and Gemini, it's just, again, I can't repeat this enough. And those that have been with me, you're probably sick of hearing it, but you're going to keep hearing it. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable letting go of control and worry, especially of those things truly outside your control. When you are adaptable, versatile, and curious, you are going to find you are more likely to have good fortune through this transit of Jupiter and Gemini. It's a time to get out. It's a time to be social and interact with others. Really important not to hole yourself up because that will not be beneficial for you. So don't just be a hermit in your house. It can be a really great time to build your communication skills and your connections with others. And then if you have to have hard conversations with people, just really make sure you're being considerate of others because that's going to go a long way over this next transit. A key impact of this transit of Jupiter in Gemini is that it will be in a square relationship with Saturn. Now, this has been a transit that's been in effect last year when Saturn was in Aquarius and Jupiter was in Taurus. They were in a square, so they're going to continue this square relationship between Saturn and Pisces and Jupiter transiting Gemini. It's really important to keep goals realistic and grounded during this transit. And it's really important to remember that squares are change agents. So we're going to continue to see more change. It's going to be the potential for changes in the economy still because Jupiter and Saturn both rule the economy. There's still potential for a bit of inflation, a little bit of deficit spending. I would love to say inflation will go away. I don't think we're there yet because of this connection between these two planets. One of the good things is both Jupiter and Saturn will be sending their energy to Sagittarius. So whatever house that is in your chart can become a powerful point of manifestation as Jupiter brings the opportunities and good luck and optimism, and Saturn brings that ability to work hard and bring that really work hard at bringing that dream to reality. So look at what house Sagittarius rules in your birth portrait, and that will be the potential area that could see some powerful manifestation energy between May 14th to October 19th of 2025, and then again between December 3rd, 2025 to June 2nd, 2026. Now, Jupiter retrograde happens every year. Jupiter is going to go retrograde November 11th of 2025, and it will stay retrograde until March 10th of 2026. The house that Gemini rules in your chart will be that focus. Now, because it's crossing two signs with its retrograde, the energy of this retrograde is kind of going to go very much into 2026 when Jupiter finally crosses over the point where it turned retrograde, which will not happen again until probably around September. Haven't looked at the actual date of that yet, I'll be honest. But September of 2026, when everything will finally come to a close. Jupiter retrograde, not a time to start a new business, not a time that I recommend getting married or moving into a new residence. But there's always days that these can be offset by other energies, but overall, generally don't recommend that. Now, let's jump into the 12 signs, give you insight into what each of the 12 signs can expect over the transit of Jupiter in Gemini. I always say look at your moon and your ascendant. Your moon is going to give you more of what you feel or see for yourself because it rules our mind, while the ascendant is more of that material manifestation of the transit, and it may not be what you always perceive for yourself, but what others see for you. Aries, your ability to reach people this next year will be at new levels. Your communication is the key over this next year. Travel for both work and pleasure will unlock new information, expanding your level of expertise. Creativity is going to be at a peak, and curiosity will create a fresh outlook for you. If there are any classes you have wanted to take, this is a really great time to take them, expand your knowledge, as well as learning by observing other people. Really be open to opportunities with mass communication, including the internet, television, papers, whatever. Just get it out there and really take that time and allow your creative side to shine through, whether it be through writing or acting, speaking, dancing, playing an instrument, whatever the case may be. Really take that time to get those creative juices flowing. One of the things for you over this transit is communication skills are going to be really sharp right now. So because of that, make sure you're double checking things, double checking your writing, and especially over this year as you watch when Mars goes through Mercury ruled signs or Mercury goes through Mars ruled signs. Taurus, this is a time of financial gain for you. Opportunities arise to acquire more income and expand your business. Your voice is going to be really important over this next year, so make sure you're speaking your truth. You could find that there's opportunities to speak or give lectures. It's going to be really important to study new subjects. Teaching for you can be really well received during this time, and it's really an excellent time for you to take control of your diet and work on your speech, whether it's getting more clear, using less ums and ors, or whatever the case may be. It's going to be really important to be cautious with your money in the sense of not overspending or on unnecessary or extravagant things, and be sure that you really stay true to your word. Don't make promises you can't keep because those will come back to bite you in the tushy. So don't do that. Gemini, this can be a time of optimism with a feeling of overall comfort for you. Your confidence will be on the upswing. It's a time to prepare for new opportunity. You really have this chance to move up in the world with this transit. Allow yourself to grow in wisdom and knowledge. Be cautious not to become too optimistic that you miss red flags or neglect your responsibilities. So, very much for you, weigh the pros and cons, write a list visually, not on your phone, on paper, use pen or pencil, whatever you prefer. But be sure to act sooner rather than later, or the opportunities could pass you by. So you're going to want to weigh the pros and cons, but not move so slowly that you miss out on them. For you, Jupiter is very much empowered in your first house, and it does indicate really a time of new beginnings and projects, as well as being sure to maintain a healthy diet and exercise because Jupiter is expansive and the first house is you, so it can be a time of weight gain as well. Cancer, this is a year that will be about endings and closures for you. It could be an end to your career, as in retirement, or it could be bringing old closure to old emotions or beliefs that are no longer serving your highest and greatest good. This is not a time to begin a new business. You may, for you, find that memories from the past will give you that gift of self-discovery and help you heal any unresolved wounds. Take this time, work through them. It's a year to prepare for really new beginnings in the following year to come. And it's kind of that old saying of when one door closes, another door opens. So take that time, spend a little time for you. It'll be beneficial to spend a little time in quiet with yourself, truly contemplate and refresh and get ready for the year after this when you open new doors. Leo, you should find that your cash flow is better over the next year. It's an excellent time to do things that expand your mind, your spirituality, your consciousness. You could see great gains from your career or large lump sums of money. This will only come from hard work and effort and your talents. So put in the time, put in the effort, and you should find you are getting more opportunities for expansion. One of the things this year for you, Leo, is this is not a time to loan money to friends and family unless you are in no hurry to get it back. It will not be a loan, it will be a gift. So keep that in mind. Also, really key, pay attention to your budget this year. There could be some overindulging or not paying enough attention to your finances. So be sure you keep an eye on those. Virgo, put yourself out there and get others to take an interest in you. This is a period when you can really see career success. It could be in the form of promotions, recognition, advancement, or congratulations from your bosses. If you are an entrepreneur, this year we'll see the expansion of your business and prosperity. Get out and network to help build your reputation, but also be sure that you keep your responsibilities so that your reputation doesn't take a turn in the wrong direction by not keeping those agreements and responsibilities. That being said, it's going to be really important that you keep yourself busy because that way you will avoid the doldrums, and that can really be a hindrance to you, Virgo. Libra, you are in for a lucky year. This is one of Jupiter's best transits for you going through your house. You'll find more fortune and spiritual knowledge. Travel will be more enjoyable for you. It can be a good time to ask for the raise you have wanted, or to work on expanding your fortunes. Just really make sure you don't get lazy or overspend out of optimism, or over optimism, as I would say. And look at the spiritual side of things, because that can really bring a new inner confidence, which can lead you on a positive track. Scorpio, over the next year, really going to be important to make sure you work on those things that give you the most support. Using common sense will help you to accomplish that checklist you put together. because you're going to put together a checklist. You could have a monetary windfall, whether it be from an inheritance, marriage, insurance, divorce, property, depending on what else your chart says. But there is that potential. During this time, it's going to be really beneficial for you to build up your spiritual reserves, expand your health, really make sure you're getting the nutrients and exercise your body needs to stay happy and healthy. And be sure to stick to your budget this year. For you, very much, this is not a time to make big commitments. So take the year, see what happens, and then decide after that. Sagittarius, this is a good year for you to form new partnerships, whether it be business or marriage. Be sure you're keeping your commitments to your partner. Relationships you will find blossoming and you will find agreements and expectations are met within them. You can find that growth at work and in your career are able to be more successful by learning more about your business. You may find there's some travel required for work, and it's good and it can be good if possible for you to invite your partner to join you on those trips. Just remember during this period, diplomacy is going to be your best friend. So hear others out, work to understand things from their perspective, and remember to show others your gratitude. Capricorn, if you were looking forward to a slow year, this is not that year for you. So just don't expect a slow year. Jupiter is transiting through your house of work and it's going to produce more opportunities and work as it moves through that house. You'll find you get more support from coworkers or employees and that a good environment can really bring success. For you, it can be a good time if you've been thinking about it to apply for a job or hire new employees, depending on what's going on and what your job is. But be sure you're eating healthy, get out, exercise to achieve your health goals. If you have been considering adding a new furry family member, now can be a great time to bring them home, and it can also be a really great time to repair any broken personal or business relationships. Aquarius, this is a year when new ideas are just going to swoop in and help you expand your life or business. It's a great time to get out, discover new things, go to the theater, movies, sporting events, whatever, to help relieve any stress you may be feeling, focusing on, whatever, that type of thing. You may find that there's a new birth in the family or that your children could get awards or have other accomplishments. For you, it's going to be really key to make sure that romance is a part of your year, whether you're bringing romance back into your marriage or you're just starting a new relationship. It's going to be very important to think through decisions during this time. So, again, looking at the pros and cons, doing your research, doing your due diligence, get it out on paper, and you are likely to see doors open that introduce you to new places and new people that can be beneficial moving forward. Pisces, this is a year for you to upgrade your skills, start new training, or enter a degree program. Can be a year where you may find yourself buying a new home or a new car, not during Jupiter retrograde though. Or it may just be you are drawn to making your current home more comfortable with new renovations or things that need upgrading. If you have issues in your home, don't delay in fixing them. They're only going to get worse. So fix them, make them better. Be sure this year that you don't dwell on negative emotions and that you spend time building relationships with your family. Celebrate birthdays and holidays, bringing fun and gratification. And then for you, it's just going to be really important to make sure you maintain insurance on your home and car because it will give you the protection it needs. That is the high level Jupiter and Gemini, what to expect with that transit. Again, a lot going on this month. I will be back at the end of the month with Rahu and Ketu and that movement. And that'll also kind of be at this, not too far after that will be the next newsletter. So be sure to stay tuned. If you're not signed up, I'll put a link below for the free newsletter. I do not spam you. I literally only send for events like this and then the monthly newsletter. And then if you're interested in booking a consultation to see more about your unique chart, we'll also put a link for that below. Like and follow, share this if you find it helpful. And otherwise, enjoy the transit of Jupiter in Gemini. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. So until then, enjoy, ride the wave, go with the flow, don't get stuck in how things have always been, and really get comfortable being uncomfortable, and you will be in a better setup for this transit.